Yo, what is up? Like I promised to y'all in the previous top 20 for 2017, here's 2018. And of course, I'm so sorry for the long wait. I should just stop apologizing because shit like this will happen again eventually. RIP. Reminder, it's just the first half of the year so far, so this list might be completely altered after fall is over and winter 2019 comes around. To reiterate, the rules for this top, the list is specifically for the year 2018. Anything out of it is restricted. So there's always something new and fresh to pick up and watch. For those who watched all of these, then I'm sorry. Same as in 2017, they are quite similar in terms of quality and the presentation. Just a tad bit better than 2017 though. On the other hand, the next coming season fall, it will change everything as it will blow the majority of these out the fucking waters. The format will be the same as the previous top and likely the length too. I would try to limit myself on what I say. I can't guarantee that though, so without further ado, let's get this started. Citrus, entered by Passionee. The story follows a high school girl by name of Yuzuko Haihara. Her life suddenly takes a turn as her mother remarries, which resulted in her transferring to a prestigious all-girls school. Her educational life is about to get fucked, as in it's gonna get tough. At her new school, she encounters new faces and enemies. More specifically, she becomes foe with the student council president, Meh. To her surprise, Yuzuko returns home and discovers Meh is her new stepsister. And out of fucking nowhere, Meh forcingly kisses Yuzuko. What prompted this? Find out and see how this drama unfolds. The story is mediocre at best, but the character development and the way they are portrayed through their actions and emotions is well handled. A show not meant for all. Some will only gain satisfaction from it, maybe pleasure, fapping, while the other will experience great suffering and disgust. Viewer discretion advised. Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san. A boy by the name of Nachikata gets picked on by a girl classmate named Takagi. Every day, Takagi makes fun of Nachikata and embarrasses him in front of the class. Nachikata then one day snaps and realizes enough is enough and he is ready to get back at Takagi. He attempts to tease her, but seems impossible as each of his plans backfire on him. Will Nachikata be able to make Takagi blush from embarrassment even once? Find out in this comedic slice of life of two kids just having fun. A simple show for your mind and soul. The characters are adorable with their actions and expressions. You can see the chemistry develop between these characters as the story progresses. You can feel that sexual tension between these two characters too. I'm just kidding. If they're actually adults, maybe, but it will probably be on a different level. This show is just a depiction of two friends who are just still young and developing. Really brings back those old nostalgia days in middle school, am I right? You know what I mean, though there was always maybe one girl or boy, if you're a girl, teasing you or even trying to get your attention because obviously they have a crush on you. Is it just me? This happened to me a couple times in my childhood, that's why. And I think one time in high school, one time in high school, so I could totally relate to these characters and I've been through the same identical experiences. Young love. Quite profounding if you think about it. Kids and young teens are falling in love at such a young age in this current generation. In the end, it's just a pure comedy with interesting characters and hardly any plot. Sword Art Online Alternative, Gun Gale Online, animated by Studio 3 Hz. Karen Korihiru Maki always felt out of place because of her extreme height, which is considered weird for a woman. In addition, she is quite reserved and an introvert. Making friends or even acquaintances is not even a simple task for her either. However, one day she is introduced to a VR game called Gun Gale Online. In this game, she is now able to live her dreams and free to express her true self without worrying about exposing her physical identity. A whatever show is all I gotta say, just a complete spin-off of GHOUL. The plot is sparse and is not well written in my eyes. There is plenty of room for improvement when it comes to the story. There was some stuff that bothered me and kind of ruined my experience while watching this. However, this doesn't really mean I didn't enjoy the series. The characters made up for it in the end. As we all know, GHOUL revolves around the concept of Battle Royale based from the Sword Art Online Season 2 GHOUL arc that we got. This type of game style has taken the world by storm, and it still has quite a strong presence till this day. Personally, I fucking hate this type of game genre. Plus, I am very disappointed by how saturated this genre has gone. A couple months ago, these type of games appeared every week, and I think all of a sudden, even every day. It just seems like gaming producers and the industry is now just creatively bankrupt, you know? I know how business works, but this isn't always the right approach. Going back on topic, the series uses the Battle Royale concept and put its own twist to it. The series is quite split among the fans too. Some love it since it took a whole new direction for Sword Art the series. Others, on the other hand, despise it for how generic it is and it doesn't really carry that same feel as Sword Art Online. On the other hand, some despise it for how generic it is and it doesn't carry that same feel as Sword Art Online. Both sides aren't wrong. This series does have its flaws, but it still carries that enjoyment that everyone seeks. I would recommend this for anyone and for also those who dislike Sword Art Online, the original one. And possibly this might change some of your perspectives on Sword Art Online, the franchise. Fate Extra Last Encore, animated by Shaft. As much as I love the Fate franchise, this is quite a fucking disappointment and I hope that Shaft will never touch the franchise ever again. Just stick to Bakemono, please. I just felt they didn't care much about this series or they just put little to no effort into making a solid adaptation. This kind of follows the PSP game but slowly devolves into its own original story after a point in the narrative, since Natsu said fuck it. In addition, the director for this really forces some of the characters to the audience, which really gets pretty fucking annoying after a while. If you watch this, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. It's fucking Fate, so I'm fucking inclined to put this. Now, a quick summary if you're interested. The main protagonist is named Hakuno Kishinami, who one day wakes up in a virtual world with no memories. Hakuno then finds himself forced to participate in a survival game he has no knowledge of, in which is, of course, as we all know as of now, the Holy Grail War. Alongside and helping him survive in this virtual reality is his servant, who is a Saber class warrior named Nero Claudius. Watch as both of them fight both friends and foe to the death to not only gain the Grail, but also the answer to find out who Hakuno is. And there we go. I was hyped at first when this was announced, but hearing that Shaft was the one behind this kinda got me worried. In the end, I was right, and boy, this has left a bad taste in my mouth. Plus, it has imprinted itself as one of the worst anime on Shaft resume, followed by Nisekoi. I'm just fucking kidding, I fucking love Nisekoi. Still, this does say something, but if I'm going to be unbiased as fuck, okay, it's tolerable if you aren't that much of an asshole or a douchebag, I guess. Characters are likable and visuals are at best average. Music and sound quality is alright. And I think that's it. And I apologize because these are probably the nicest compliments I could give for this series. I just wanted to put this up just to rant about it. And that's it, but hey, I might be wrong. Some of you guys will adore it because of the characters and I guess the fresh concept. I completely understand and no one is right or wrong when it comes to their opinions and taste. Come on guys, you should know this by now, right? Uma Musume Pretty Derby, anime by PA Works. In another universe like our own, exists a species of half human and half horse. I ain't talking about fucking centaurs though. I'm talking about horse girls. Anime horse girls. That just sounds fucking weird and fucking disgusting at the same time, right? Worse than those cat girls, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, these horse girls train to participate in a race for fame and fortune. Our main protagonist is a horse girl by the name of Special Week. Yeah, I'm not fucking joking, that's her actual fucking name. She recently transferred from the countryside to the city and is attending Traxon Academy. Her dream is to make her mother proud by keeping the promise of becoming the best horse girl in all over Japan. Seriously, a series I was not expecting and quite out of the fucking ordinary. I guess in a unique and a bizarre idea you can say. I remember my friends and I were just disgusted by this concept of an anime. We badmouthed people who watched this and we just talked massive shit about it even though we didn't even give it a try. Yeah, I know, we're fucking dicks. I just want to say that the ones to blame for our ways of thinking is no doubt the furries and the bronies. They have ruined our images and appeal of these type of animal and fictional mythical creatures, you could say. I told my friends and myself that I would never touch this series. However, I was a hypocrite and I watched it just to see what was going on. But hey, my curiosity got the best of me right here. Knowing that I might enjoy this brought a sense of displeasure and self-disappointment. I eventually just said, fuck it! Surprisingly, it wasn't as terrible as I imagined. I don't like saying this, but it subverted my expectation. I did end up enjoying this as it is filled with comedy and just fun lollygags. I finally had the balls to admit to some of my friends I watched it, and now they think I'm a fucking weirdo. Or even a fucking
furry or brony at this point. Whatever. We fucking love messing around with each other. Just ignore the whole idea about furries and bronies when watching this and you will have a blast. Trust me.
Toji no Miko, anime by Studio Kogumi. Long ago, since ancient times, exist shrine maidens who wield katanas. Their purpose and goal is to exorcise strange entities called Aramara. These evil life forms cause destruction and is a threat to humanity. Till this day, they still exist and continue their duties. They address themselves as Tojis and serve within a special police force. The government acknowledges their existence and authorizes each Tojis to wield a sword and serve as a government official. In addition, the government has set up 5 academies in Japan to train and educate Tojis. Watch as these girls live an ordinary school life while serving justice to mankind. Overall, a fun and decent series, characters are interesting, and the action sequences are satisfactory. The story is slow paced, but that's what is expected from a series that goes on for 24 episodes. The one reason that really sets this off for me is the excessive CGI. Some occasion it gets awkward and just felt out of place. Quality mostly. To be fair, it wasn't that horrendous after a couple episodes in, probably because my eyes and mind has adjusted to it. I just said fuck it and wanted to know more about the story at this point. Of course, it's not the best, but I still advise you guys to give this a go. At least give it the 3-episode rule.
Sora Yorimo Totoi Basho, anime by MADHOUSE. Filled with curiosity on what lies beyond the world, our main protagonist, Mari Tamaki, decides to explore the unknown. Mari is a second year in high school and finally comes to realize that her time of youth is nearing its end. Nearing its end, my ass! You're only a sophomore! Come on! She happens to run across another girl named Shirase Kobuchizawa. She also shares similar aspirations and dreams. The one dream and goal that they have in common is to venture to Antarctica. Along the way, they catch the attention of other girls. Watch as they all sail towards the frozen south. A work of art that well deserves some attention. The story is marvelous and tells us to reflect upon our own youth years. Everything about this just screams out adventure, fun, and the struggles of the youth. As in the obstacles and the hurdles in life a person must partake in order to succeed. Quite similar to YURU Camp and SHOUJO Shumatsu Roku. If you enjoy any of those, you will adore this one too. I will say this again further in the video. The friendship and the bonds we forge are what makes us strong and guides us to all living a healthy and successful life.
Junji Collections, anime by Studio Dean. A series that tells stories from a collection of illustrations of a Japanese artist named Junji Ito. Something unexpected and really quite alluring for its uniqueness. A genre that isn't yet explored in the world of anime, you know, horror. Some tried, but they don't really feel like anything. Most are short and poorly adapted. For instance, Yamishibai. Those are 4-minute horror stories though. They were quite spooky. Check it out if you're interested. If you're a fan of these types of stories, you will enjoy this. However, the series does have its ups and downs. It really depends on how you view horror as a genre. And as we all know as of now, each culture is different and we have our own definition and our own takes on the horror genre. This might set some off for its weirdness and abnormal interpretation of the genre. Just prepare to sit and watch in terror as dark tales get told in you in a way never before. I'm comparing this to like Stephen King and Edgar Allan Poe for example. Of course, this will never surpass H.P. Lovecraft though. That dude was a straight up next level transcendence and psycho. If you want a nice jump scare, this is a show for you.
Mahou Shoujo Site, anime by production DOA. The story follows a middle school girl named Aya Asagiri, who gets bullied at school and at home by her brother. After Aya experienced a moment in her life that she will never forget, she encounters a site called Mahou Shoujo Site. The site shows a picture of a creepy looking girl. This mysterious girl felt pity on Aya, then announced that she has granted her magical powers. The next day at school, Aya finds a gun in her locker. As she was cornered by these bullies like usual, with nothing to do, nothing to lose, she fires the gun. The gunshots startle the bullies and force them to run away. And this begins Aya's magical adventure in discovering why and what this power she was given. Another one of those moe shit bait. I love that, you know, probably because I'm a fucking psychopath myself. This is a underrated show, and it seems like everyone tends to look over this because of how edgy it is. Quote, quote. Fuck! This term is thrown around lately. It just seems it's lost its meaning, you know? Mostly used by people who think they know what they're saying, or even thinking they're fucking intellectuals. Well, that aside, there's a message here, but with all the things going on, it's easy to get distracted from the true and big picture. Everyone should give this a go. Psychological horror fans will love this, guaranteed.
High School DxD Hero, anime by Studio TNK. This is the 4th season to the series. It adapts the 9th to the 11th volume of the light novel. The story will continue where the previous season left off, with Issei as the main character still. Since this is the 4th season, I won't say much, so I'll keep this short, and here are my takes on it, I guess. Compared to previous seasons, this one is done surprisingly well. Of course, we still got that excessive fan service, you know what I'm talking about, you know, those titties, oh damn, delicious. And the comedy is still present. The story, on the other hand, is now more tone a bit and finally taking itself seriously. And as we all know as of now, the one major change for the series is the art style. At first, I was kind of bummed that the art style got a complete makeover. In some occasions, I just felt like I was watching a hentai. However, the new art style is near identical to the actual source, so I guess it's acceptable. Still, I miss the old art. Nonetheless, over time the new art style grew on me, so if you love fan service and harem anime, this should be your next go-to. The amount of tits exposing this is off the heezies, man. Shit. Oh yeah, you know, between you and me guys, make sure to keep a bottle of lube or onaho near you while watching this. I'm just kidding. If you're a fucking degenerate like me, then yeah, you should totally do it. If you're not, please, don't do it. Save yourself from following down the path of degeneracy.
Persona 5 the animation, animated by A1 Pictures, but changed to Cloverworks shortly not long into the life of the adaptation. Oh boy, I can't wait to talk about this. There's a reason why it's on this list here, so I can talk some mad shit about it. Just kidding. Just want to get this off my chest, that's all. So we got another Persona anime adaptation added into the books. I love the game franchise and played 2 to 5. 3 will forever be my favorite though. So in this story, it follows a high school boy named Ren Amamiya. After a certain incident, he is then forced to transfer to a new school called SHOUJO Academy. As in like in every Persona protagonist, Ren acquires access to the Velvet Room. From what we already know from previous Persona games and anime, this begins Ren's inevitable fate. This is still currently airing and it's still pretty far from completion. At the moment, the adaptation is quite questionable and kind of sloppy based on what I'm seeing. There's also plenty of memes regarding about the animation. I hate saying this, but I do agree. Cloverworks is definitely just rushing things and putting little to no effort, which is quite a misfortune. I can't say this with a straight face, but now I'm starting to think that Cloverworks is A1 cum dump. As in, they are leaving all the useless and whatever licensing left for them to handle and sometimes coming in to support them when needed. Just imagine Cloverworks as an ex-wife of A1. A1 is now more focused on Sword Art Online more than ever. It's fucking insane. Now back on topic. The adaptation is a disgrace to the game and fails to meet my expectations. Everything just feels boring and straight up inconsistent. Like fucking come on. Even the Persona 3 movies and P4A did a better job than this. Well, not P4A, Gee, that was complete trash. Well, since I played the game, this is pretty biased of me, I know. Still, if the majority of its player base is criticizing it, I'm not that far from the base either. However, I know few who haven't touched the game yet and are loving the anime. I completely understand and I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I hope this gets them interested or even invested into the games. Although I enjoyed the game, I still thought Persona 5 was still subpar in terms of story, plot development, and characters to the previous entries. The only aspect that stood out for me was the gameplay mostly. That's about it. I might be in the minority here too. Well, since I don't have enough time, I will make a review about Persona 5 more in depth and when this is done airing, which is where I'll go all out in the series and be honest with my feelings and thoughts towards it. It could have been proper adaptation, but completely ruined with incompetency. Remember that these are my inputs, so don't take them seriously. But like I said, if you never played the game and decide to pick this up, it's very likely you will fall in love with it, with its Picaro theme and relevancy. Overlord Season 2, entered by MADHOUSE. Do I even need to bring this up again? Recommend this to all, but is it good? I personally don't find this season that great, compared to the most series this year so far. It deserves the praise it gets though. Season 1 is mandatory before watching the sequel. This is where the series just falls off for me. Season 1 was great, but this specific season seemed to have a drop in quality in my eyes. You see why I said specific season? Season 3 is currently airing and it's improving on its flaws from Season 2.
which is a plus and shows that the director and studio is aware of their mistakes. With the huge success the series brings, Madhouse is now finally realizing that this is their sales ship. Remember that meme, Madhouse doesn't do season 2? Well, this begs to differ. The series is now the bitch for Madhouse, just as Sword Art Online is now a bitch for A1. A series that has a lot of potential, and let's just see where it goes from here on out. On the other hand, if I want to be honest with you guys and myself, sorry, I just don't like the series. I still respect your opinion if you love this though. Don't get me wrong, the show is not for me. This is probably just a taste I acquired over time. Just know I'm a fucking dumbass, and if that makes you feel better, just know my taste in Chinese cartoon is complete dog shit. Tokyo Ghoul, anime by Studio Pierrot. One of my favorite manga series. Well, it was, sadly. Still, it has its merits though. Manga readers would understand what I mean only. So, the new protagonist for the series is a boy named Sasaki Heisei. He's a half ghoul, half human. He is also part of a new squad and the leader of the squad called FRANXX. In this story, the CCG has discovered a way to create pseudo one-eyed ghouls. Thus comes the birth of the FRANXX squad. Follow the FRANXX squad as they go through their own hardships and begin to realize the truth of the world. Now if you're impatient, it's the perfect time to jump right into the manga because the series just recently concluded a couple months ago. Do give it a read later in the future since it does go over the small details and development the anime missed. Worth the time and investment. When I first heard about the arc being adapted into an anime, I was fucking thrilled, but hearing Studio Pierrot once again handling the series, I had second thoughts about it. Surprisingly, it was better than I expected. It seems that Studio Pierrot has learned from the abomination and train wreck of Route A. For Re, it adapted the manga and the source material pretty well, and I'm glad it got that treatment it deserved. And just a caution though, the manga readers and fans can be pretty critical on this. Moreover, they can be pretty fucking assholes, dicks, and pricks, whatever you want to call them, and toxic if you badmouth the series or even say any of the anime adaptations were good. Of course, there will be the ones who say it was okay while others will tell you it was a fucking joke. I can understand that, but if you're looking at this in an anime exclusive watcher perspective, it's quite adequate. You're not missing the main plot, and of course you're getting the development needed for the characters. Now season 2 is already on the way and set for a fall release. I can't wait for that since that's when the story will get interesting and takes on a whole new direction of the plot and development. I'm expecting a 2-core next season. There's also a high chance that there will be a season 3, but only if they keep the same pace as of now. I thought season 1 pacing was pretty alright. As a manga reader, I approve this. The worst case scenario is if they rush the fuck out of the next coming season or even go for an original. That would fucking suck, right? And sorry for going way off the boundary here. This is a recommended video, I know, but I just wanted to address a few stuff since it's the topic at hand here. Tokyo Ghoul is a splendid series and I recommend this for all. The story can get deep and really ties in well with its characters too. Some parts will be convoluted, but there are always a reason behind it, and the purpose of that is to surprise you. Ishida, the writer, boy, he loves surprising his audience or even fucking with them. If you like seeing characters who struggle with their own personal identity and their own existence, this should be your next stop. I adore this series and it will always hold a place dear in my heart for the rest of my life, and I hope it will for you too. Thank you, Sui Ishida, for creating this work of art, and may you live a happy life and so on forth. Yuru Camp Triangle, Tent, Delta, whatever the fuck you want to call it, animated by C Station. The story follows a girl named Narashiko Kagamihara. One day, she had the urge to witness the infamous Mount Fuji with her own eyes. Despite biking all the way to Motsu, which is a huge lake located near Mount Fuji, she is forced to end her journey because of the terrible weather. However, Narashiko faints after turning back shortly. She then wakes up in an unknown place and lost. She then sees a girl named Rinshima. Apparently, she was the one who saved her and brought her to this unknown place. Thus begins this outdoorsy girl story of Narashiko and Rin. A show that gets overlooked for what it actually is. People tend to disregard this because it always has that notion of, oh, it's just Moe shit, that's disgusting, I don't like little girls. Or, it's just cute girls doing cute things, LMAO, man, you a fucking pedophile. Now this is where they're wrong. Remember last year's series, SHOUJO Shimatsu Roko? This is somewhat the same. Cute characters with similar characteristics under the same circumstances and trying to make the best of their time and journey. The simplicity of the story is really straightforward, there's no thinking involved and really makes everything fun. Get to see the characters be themselves and witness the chemistry between them. This might also encourage people to go camping with their friends after watching this. I used to be in the Boy Scouts and some camping and outings were fun, so I can relate. It brings back those old, good and bad nostalgia, you can say. There were some instances where I just want to head home ASAP. What I'm saying is, the main focus here is hanging out with your friends and enjoying the time with them. Friendship is very important to all of us, and the bonds we forge is what makes us strong. Persona! Yuru Camp portrays this well and can open one's eye on what a good and healthy friendship should be like. Koi wa AMEAGARI no Yoni, edited by Wit Studio. The story revolves around a reserve high school girl by name of Akira Tachibana. She was formerly on the school's track team, but after a leg injury, she was forced to quit. She is a beauty and all the boys want a piece of her, but she has no interest in the boys at her school. Since she has nothing to do now and her track and field days are over, she proceeds to get a part-time job at a cafe called Garden Cafe. While working there, she begins to develop affection for her manager, who is a 45-year-old man named Masami Kondo and has a son. This should already be an indicator that Akira should stay the fuck away from this dude, but hey, it's a Chinese cartoon, so it's aight. Watch as they both spend their time together working as employees and learning a thing about one another day by day. God damn it. Sorry about that. So, Wit is at again with another splendid series. I just love this show. It's like a live-action drama disguised as an anime, I swear. And I just fucking hate live-action drama and all that shit. I don't know if it's just me, but I just fucking despise it since most of the time it takes itself too seriously and shit is just over-exaggerated to a point where it gets cringeworthy. Plus, creativity is somewhat limited. Just remember, this is just me. I'm a fucking artist. You know, I'm just too autistic to understand human emotions. Go figure. Going back on topic, the story is heartwarming and the characters are relatable. I find that the main focal point for the series is the chemistry between our protagonist and the cast. There are moments where you will sympathize with the characters and you can feel the impact it has on both the characters and the story. The series just feels really alive and in some cases real. The emotions are portrayed marvelously in this and it gives the story concrete. This show really resonated with me since it was something I was craving for years. It exceeded my expectations and is considered anime of the season for me. Calling anime of the year is kind of a stretch though. Probably in my books it is, but objectively it is at least above mediocrity. Still, like I mentioned earlier, the main point of this show is the characters. If you love seeing realistic characters and how they learn to develop, and just seeing a beautiful drama, you should check this out. Boku no Hero Academia Season 3, edited by Studio Bones. I don't want to repeat myself the 4th time, so I'm just gonna repeat what I said in my previous video, cause I'm just fucking lazy and YOLO. This is the 3rd season to the series, so there isn't much to say since it'll be considered spoilers. But I'm pretty sure like most of you guys know what's up with the series by now. If not, you've been living under a rock or you just been shut out from the world. The story takes place in a society where 80% of the human population possesses superpowers. Just imagine everyone has the potential to be a superhero. I recommend this anyone to watch this if they really enjoyed the story about a nobody trying to find a way to be noticeable and appreciated. It mind boggles me how the series has generated huge traffic in the anime community and driven a lot of new anime fans. To accomplish such a feat in such a short time, that's fucking amazing. This series has taken a massive shit on the top well-known shonens. As you know, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Fairy Tail, those type of stuff. With also a movie on the way, this series is just getting started. A new king of shonen has arrived and is ready to conquer and stand on the top for years to come. Steins Gate Zero, edited by White Fox. An ongoing series at the moment, but it aired in spring, so it counts, right? The untold and dark side of the original Steins Gate. You can kinda call it like an alternative universe if you want to, or timeline you could say. Alright, I don't know if this is considered spoilers, but fuck it. In this universe, or timeline, Rintaro Okabe, our main protagonist, fails to save Kurisu. Because of this, Okabe abandoned his scientist alter ego to forget about the past. As Okabe returns to his normal life, he is pulled back into the past after making acquaintance with one of Kurisu's fellow classmates named MAHOU. She informs him that there is a device in the work right now that stores the memory of a human and creates a simulation of them and their characteristics and personalities. Okabe becomes interested, but not knowing the torment and the anguish it holds. This alternative story will explain and lead you to the understanding of the true ending for Steins Gate. Still currently watching it and is already another top contender for anime of the year in my books. This is what actual Steins Gate is about and meant to be told in. It takes on a darker tone and thrilling aspect to it. It can get pretty psychological in some scenes too. You will be on the edge of your seat as each episode progresses. And I just want to say, I don't like the usage of plot that revolves around alternative timelines, going back in time or universe and all that stuff. Most of the time, those are complete asspulls. I find these type of ideas or writing, you know, kind of fucking lame. But Steins Gate is an exception here. The way it's utilized here is genius and well crafted. The characters are also further developed in this, and they show more depth. I love this. We now see a different side and more to the actual character. No doubt, after completing this, I definitely will go back to the visual novel for this because I feel I am missing some of the small details and perspectives. Violet Evergarden, anime by Kyoto Animation. The Great War and the everlasting conflict has come to an end. The countries are now in the process of rebuilding for the past 4 years they have lost. The story follows a girl by the name of Violet Evergarden, who was created for the sole purpose of war and weaponry. One day, she wakes up from a coma and notices the world has changed around her. Not knowing the purpose and the meanings in life, her life I mean, she seeks for a new future other than violence. She eventually finds works at a postal service, and while working there, she learns of a profession called auto memory doll. Moved by the works and the reaction it brings from their customer, Violet becomes intrigued and decided takes on the path of becoming an auto memory doll. In addition, hopefully finds self-discovery, one of the contenders for Masterpiece of this year. The story is powerful and it conveys messages with its usage of visuals and characters. Cinematography is incorporated in this, and it's done in a magnificent way. I never thought it was possible when it comes to anime TV series. This was near movie quality, and the amount of tears, shears of blood in the production is well demonstrated here. You can see the dedication of the staff. I guarantee that you will be mesmerized and entranced by the beauty of this series. By far, and this is, I guess, the peak of Kyoto Animation, a studio I personally adore a lot and praise the fuck out of. This sheds some new light to the industry and has yet set another bar for others to surpass. There is drama, action, suspense, slice of life, etc. There's plenty of other elements too. These are just the main focus here. A show that will make you laugh, cry, feel, and connect with its characters. A movie's on the way that is aiming for a 2019 release. Can't wait for that one. Darling the Franz, anime by Trigger with collaboration of A1 Pictures and Cloverworks, a subsidiary animation studio of A1. In a distant and post-apocalyptic future, humanity is under siege by alien lifeforms called Klaxors. To shelter themselves from these mysterious creatures, humans abandoned living in the opening and decided to confine themselves within a fortress city called Plantation. In addition, to protect their fortress and new home, the people of the civilization raise children called parasites, who are specialized in piloting giant mechs called FRANXX. These specific mechs are only operable with a boy and girl pair. In this story, it follows one of the parasite boys named Hiro, who lost the ability to synchronize with his counterpart. As a result, he fails his training curriculum. One day, while ditching his class graduation ceremony, he encounters a girl by the name of 02. Who is this mysterious girl, and what future lies ahead of Hiro? Watch and find out. This is by far the best series in the year 2018 at the moment. I love the story, characters, art, music, and I guess you could say the originality. A well-crafted story for audience engagement. I just love these aspects in anime. People call this an Evangelion clone and all that stuff. In a sense, yeah, they are quite similar, but they're missing the bigger picture here, you know? The show also split the fans after a certain point in the story. No spoilers. There are those that really adores the series and respect for what it is, and the other half calling it plain out fucking dumb and generic. For me, I love the story, and I feel there is something far greater at play here. I don't like saying this shit, but it's an overrated show that is definitely worth one's time. One of the top contenders for the year 2018, and I won't be surprised if it does win the best for 2018. You know that meme? It takes an IQ of over 200, haha, blah blah blah. This stupid fucking meme can be applied here. I'm not even kidding, guys. You actually need to think and use your brain when watching this. Darling the Franz is one of those series that has depth and can be interpreted in multiple ways, plus holds subliminal messages and meanings. This is a truly another masterpiece and should be recognized for what it conveys. 1000% recommended for those action, drama, and mecha lovers out there.
Devilman Crybaby, anime by Studio Saru, a series collab with Netflix. The story follows a boy named Akira Fundo. He one day learns from his friend Hiro Asuka that an ancient race of demons has returned to claim the entire world for themselves. Hiro then further suggests to Akira that in order to combat these demons, he must fuse with a demon. As a result, Akira becomes Devilman and begins his battle with the ancient demons. Another great contender for this year. I don't know where to start with this and what to say, but masterpiece, baby! Another misconception, just like Violet Evergarden, a series that brings in something fresh into the world and brings up, you know, the good old days. You know, that OG shit. Devilman Crybaby is a must-watch for all of you guys this year. It contains theme and elements that might not be appropriate for few, but it really does a brilliant job on portraying them. I see why this series has polarized the anime community with its extreme content. Some either enjoy it or just disgusted by it. It's completely understandable. You got these titties bouncing all over the place, drug usage, ass shots, actual sexual intercourse scenes. Ooh, those are good. And lots of blood and gore. However, I think people are missing the bigger picture here. I would definitely rate this as anime of the year in my book. Devilman Crybaby is a series that could really challenge one expectation. The story can be interpreted in many ways and it takes on controversial topics that we see nowadays. I actually love this idea since it's like a lesson disguised in anime. Recommend it for even if you're not even an avid anime watcher or a fan. This might change your perspective on anime or even change your taste buds.
Well, there you go guys, the best for 2018. I hope this filled some of your plates up for this year. Like I said in the beginning, this list is still in progress, as in it's going to change either a bit or drastically after the fall season. I'm just gonna tell you, fall season will be fucking lit, boy! A top that will be out shortly too. Also, I want to make something cool again, either like another AMV or some shit. I know lately those has lost steam, as in it's not trending anymore. I don't give a fuck though, since making those is a fucking blast and it heightens my creative level. Well, after fall, the true best for 2018 will be created. Just remember, these are my opinions, so please don't take them too seriously. If I hurt any of your feelings for bad-mouthing a series that you like on here, just ignore me. Just don't let it get to you. This list is not objective, period, but it should be. Just kidding. My opinions are shit, I know. Now to end it, thank you all for watching. If you like or dislike my shit, you know what to do. You want to keep update with my ass? SHOUJO out!